The ideas expressed in City Club forums are those of the speakers and not of the City Club of Cleveland, IdeaStream Public Media, or their sponsors. Production and distribution of City Club forums on IdeaStream Public Media are made possible by PNC and the United Black Fund of Greater Cleveland, Incorporated.
Good afternoon, City Club members, students, educators, and community guests. Welcome to the City Club of Cleveland. My name is Zoe Shea, a senior at Solon High School and the president of the City Club of Cleveland's Youth Forum Council. Today's forum is titled Beyond the Spotlight, Voices of Influence Inspiring Change. Influence plays a powerful role in our society. It shapes conversations, inspires movements, and reminds us that leadership can look many different ways. Here in Cleveland, we're surrounded by people, both well-known and behind the scenes, who use their platforms to make a difference, uplift others, and strengthen our communities. Today, we're joined by two of these voices. Nick Postolowski, owner of the P-League, has built a sports community that goes beyond the game, combining competition, culture, and connection to create opportunities for people across the city. And Ricky Smith, owner of Something Good Social Kitchen and founder of Random Acts of Kindness Everywhere. Through his work, he's built spaces that bring people together through food, service, and acts of giving, reminding us that kindness can create real, lasting impact. Together, they'll share how they use their influence to inspire action, and how each of us can find purpose in the platforms we have, big or small. Moderating today's conversation is Youth Forum Council member and University School junior, Charlie Martin. Thank you all for joining us today.
Well, thank you, Zoe. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Charlie Martin. I'm a junior at University School, and I'm honored to be your moderator for today's City Club Youth Forum, Beyond the Spotlight, Voices of Influence, Inspiring Change. In 2025, influence isn't just about followers, it's about focus. We live in a moment where a single story, clip, or highlight can travel faster than any school announcement or city headline, for better or for worse. That reach is powerful, but it also comes with responsibility. What we do with attention, how we turn it into connection, service, and real change matters more than ever. And in Cleveland, we know this firsthand. Our city has a tradition of people using their platforms to stand for something, from athletes and artists to organizers and everyday neighbors who step up for each other. Today's conversation digs into how both of you have turned personal wins into shared responsibility, how you decide when and where to speak up, how you balance visibility with authenticity, and the real steps students like me can take to start, sustain their own efforts in Cleveland. Now, you've already heard an extremely thoughtful introduction from Zoe, so rather than just repeat that, I'd like to start by asking you just a short headline about your work, what you're building right now, and why it matters into kind of what Cleveland is. And then we'll jump right into questions. So, Ricky, because you're closer, we can start with you.
We're going to rock, paper, scissors?
Yeah, we can.
1, 2, 3, shoot. Okay.
So I go first, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys, listen, I'm very nervous, but as an athlete, I know you can use, being anxious as, energy to, perform better. So I know you guys are eating. Can you guys give a little bit of energy, like a round of applause or something like that? Great, okay. I feel the energy, I feel it. So I run the P-League. I've been doing it about 7 years now. It's a sports organization. Started as a hobby. I'm big into sports, big into basketball, and at first I just wanted to do it just because I was killing all the basketball leagues around Cleveland. I was dropping 50 balls left and right, and like I said, sports is a huge thing for me. But I started seeing my impact on, I would say, the community by bringing everybody together. I think basketball brings great camaraderie. Like no matter your color, your race, no matter what it is, the only thing that matters is that ball and that court. So to me, I do it just because I know it brings, great, I would say, it just brings, the greatness out of you. So, the reason why I do it is because, again, it brings the camaraderie. I can impact a lot of people no matter who you are. And I just want to continue to show people that you don't have to be a professional athlete to have impact in the world. I didn't go to college. I wanted to go to college, but every single year I told myself I didn't go. And I just want to show people that even though I do emphasize go to college and get your education, you still do not need to go to college to have an impact and be professional athletes. So with my impact, I just think, like I said, the sports aspect, it just brings everyone together.
No, Ricky, we can go to you now.
Yeah, my answer is a little less polished. I'm just a silly guy who, at a young age, realized that I had the ability. Actually, if we really want to go honest, it's a university school story. I had a teacher, Mr. Kessler, who threw me out of class, and he said I had the power influence. If I ever used it for good, the world would be a much better place. In particular, we would do this thing, which you guys shouldn't do as students, but we would have a word of the day that we knew, but we wouldn't tell the teacher what the word of the day was. Whenever he would say it, we would just get up and just run around the room. And he knew, he couldn't figure out the word or the situation, but he knew I was a ringleader. And he knew I had this ability to always galvanize, get people together to do things. And had the great benefit of going back years later and telling him that exact quote that is still rung in my head, which it took years for me to realize I had the power influence, that I could use it to help people. But always just been a funny, silly guy. I have a tattoo that literally says tattoo. Sometimes I'm not the brightest guy, but I have a way of making people feel good and feel better, so why not use that to help people?
Yeah, to get into kind of the questions, we're really talking about influence in this forum. So think back to the exact moment when you realized people weren't just watching you, they were following you. I mean, what happened in that moment? How did it change the way you used your voice and platform from that day forward? And as you answer, feel free to kind of bring us into that moment. Yeah. What was going on? Who was there? Like when?
I'll go with that one. And I know it's a youth forum. Mine came when I was in LA and I was drinking water, and I would tweet about Fridays that everyone should drink a shot of water. And I ended up going from like 400 followers to thousands of people would do what I was doing. They were mocking me or doing what I was doing online, and I thought, if they're doing this for negative or getting drunk or drinking water, how cool would it be if I use that same thought process to have people do good? Or I would motivate and inspire people to not only drink a shot of water, but also to go out and spread kindness. And it was at that moment, it was like, there's something here.
Now kind of Nick, how did that kind of moment happen for you? Obviously, the P-League's just such an impactful organization in Cleveland, but was there maybe a moment even earlier when you realized people were following you?
Yeah, it was when I started using basketball to give back. You know, my charity event started. My first year, we donated over 1,000 toys to, an organization that, we teamed up with. And from there, I realized that, wow, this guy is really, doing something that's for the good rather than for himself. So that's when it started, when I started doing charity events for other people.
Yeah, I mean, especially giving back in our community is so big, and both of you have done so much, but especially to Ricky, obviously your Rake project is all about random acts of kindness. Can you kind of describe a milestone when Rake took off or just changed direction, and what made it grow beyond what you first imagined?
Yeah, there's a couple, and I hate to use capitalism as part of the answer, but for me, my mom and dad are sitting here, and my wife as well, but for me it was McDonald's became a national spokesperson, did a whole ad campaign where it was billboards and it was TV ads, and we were literally everywhere, and just my story about spreading kindness. And it was like a thing where you don't start, and I could speak for Nick as well, most people don't start nonprofits or helping people or just the power influence to do it for those reasons, but it was like, wow, like I think we were at, it was during the Cavs versus Warriors, and the commercials playing during the finals, and it's over here, and they did a nationwide tour, and McDonald's is like having me everywhere, and then doing ESPN and all these TV shows and stuff like that, Travel Channel even. I do a tour where I do 50 cities in 30 days once a year, and Travel Channel actually made it into a TV show where they actually took the kindness part out and had me just traveling around the country doing these crazy acts. And it was like, okay, like this is cool. Like it's a little bit bigger than me, but it's cool to know that something that, and I don't want to go back into my backstory, but I started Rake when I was living in my car, which it got repossessed. So I'm probably at my lowest moment, literally my lowest moment, that something that I can conceptualize or think of could go from that to now affecting lives and changing lives, where big brands are now seeing the vision and seeing let's be honest, that they could sell cheeseburgers based upon my thought process.
I mean, kind of to Nick too, the P-League has become Cleveland's signature street ball scene. Was there a key moment where it grew beyond those pickup games into more of a community effort when you knew, yeah, this really blew up?
Yeah, I think when I started doing all-star games and celebrity games, I feel like bringing these guys and these, any celebrity, if it's a comedian, if it's a basketball guy, if it's a YouTuber, if it's a rapper, whatever it is, these people love and don't get a chance to see these guys up front and up close. So me bringing these guys, up front for people at a free to no cost, event, it just realized that, yeah.
Somebody calling me? Somebody calling me, please?
Okay.
I played in one of these celebrity games, and Nick had asked me for a while, and he didn't tell me that he's really being underselling the celebrity part. It's just like minor league basketball. These guys were like dunking and like crossing me up. My ankles was bad. I was wearing Chucks. So I just want to say I haven't been a fan of yours after that, even though we're friends in real life. 'Cause that wasn't a cool moment, man.
I wanted you to shine.
No, it wasn't cool.
No?
It was embarrassing.
Okay, so
I,
don't ask you
literally,
again?
it was like a picture of me literally going like this, and somebody's like, and they're like dunking and all that stuff. So you have to have a celebrity game for like non-basketball celebrities.
But you did tell me you were going to drop 30.
I thought it was gonna be like somebody whose mom who cut the lunchroom lady, or like somebody who like takes out the garbage. It literally was professional athletes.
You were stretching like a professional.
I needed to. It takes 3 days when you get this age to like start up. It's like an old Ford. Once it gets going, but I never got going. But anyway, I'll go back and sit on my hands.
So what, you want to be a water boy next
I
time?
would love to be a water boy.
Water boy? All right.
Done.
Water boy's good. All right.
You know, obviously, to even be in these celebrity games, to be hosting these celebrity games, there's a lot of attention that comes with this, right? But how do you kind of stay authentic to both of your visions? You guys come from just such a place of good, so how do you kind of stay true to that original vision?
Go ahead.
For me, it's a mom and dad, a wife, a great support system who kind of reels me in. I joke at 4 in the morning, I have these crazy ideas, and then when I wake up, people are like, even just across the street, they have a restaurant, which was kind of cool that Zoe led with, that I'm the owner of a restaurant. I didn't work into a restaurant until I got the restaurant. But my mom and dad told me always, do something with passion or do it at all. So it's like, if you get into something, be the best. If you're not gonna be the best, then don't do it. So if you know you have the time, the dedication, and the know-withal, the research, then yeah, you can do anything. And I'm an idiot when I say this, and I know Nick feels this way, and probably 99% of you guys, like, I wasn't raised with the ability to think I couldn't do something. And I still, like, it's gonna sound crazy, and I know they're not doing well. I think if you gave me a year to be a kicker on the Browns, I think I could do it. Like, I'm legitimately think, would you agree? Like, if you just took a year, just to kick. I could do just as bad.
I believe in you. I believe in you. I
Thank
don't know
you.
about myself.
I could do just as bad as him. But yeah, just that ability just to want to do it. But you have to put the work in. You have to research and know everything. You guys have something that I never had, just showing my age. You guys have so much information sitting in your pocket at all times, a cell phone. You can research, read everything. My dad would have to take me to libraries, and sometimes the libraries didn't have. Imagine doing a book report, and there's like 3 libraries. You go to this one, that book's gone. You better go different places. So you guys have literally everything you need at your hand, and then it's 24 hours a day. We all have the same 24 hours. So you can't outwork me. You can't. I'll just sleep 1 less hour than you. I'll figure it out.
You know, Nick, also to that point, obviously you've been getting bigger and bigger with all these all-star games. How do you kind of stay true to that vision of, well, this is just another pickup game, while also making it something bigger than just a pickup game?
Yeah, I really just, I emphasize on opportunity. I never really got the opportunities growing up. I was always, always on the back end of everything. And I'd like to stay, true to the opportunity part. If you're a regular guy in Cleveland, Ohio, or wherever you are, I still want to always mix regular people and quote unquote celebrities or whoever they are, and I want to give them opportunities to come together. So that's how I like to.
You know, Ricky, Cleveland has had struggles in the past, but one of the things that we also talk about is these kind of leaders that have spread kindness and just grew the city. So through Raker's Something Good, how have you really seen them help the city grow or heal?
Yeah, it's hard, man. And I know pulling the curtains over there, you asked me this question backstage, and I gave you an answer. And I'm going to actually change my answer. I think Cleveland, it comes from our sports teams. I know I'm going on a tangent here, but we're so loyal and so passionate about Cleveland. And I think a lot of times Clevelanders don't realize that, like, we are already this infrastructure that's built to help people, right? So like we see bad things that happen, and we see the news and these news cycles, and I'm on TV, so I get it, and I work in TV. But there's so many people that come together to help people. I see, not to talk politics by no means, but like the SNAP benefits. There's so many drives, and Nick is doing turkey drives. There's so many people who, like even just me and Nick just being friends, it came from us just, working together because we like what you're doing, I like what we're doing. And I think people don't realize in most major cities or cities that doesn't happen. So, yeah, it's poverty, this and that, and things going in the city, but I think Cleveland is, with the foundations from the top to the bottom to et cetera, Clevelanders are very kind by nature. It's just trying to find your wave and wherever you can help people to figure out how to make the city even more kinder, if you will.
To Nick, I have another question. Honestly, stories really inspire others. So what's one specific story from your work that really captures what you're trying to do?
Yeah, a good story behind it is I do prison work. I go to the state prison in Grafton, and I go in there and I spread normacy. I don't have anybody that's in prison, but I know a lot of people do. So I try to go in there and give them something where they can, just get their minds off what's really happening with them, why they're in there. And I go in there and, like I said, I spread love, just like how this guy does. I try to go in there and spread the love, and every single time I go in there, it's like I'm Ricky Smith in Cleveland. I'm a big celebrity, so it's awesome.
Getting dunked on.
One of the things that we were also talking back in the green room is how things like that really just humanize everybody. I mean, honestly, just getting to play a pickup game with anybody really just brings you down to one kind of level. How have you seen a lot of these pickup games, these events that you've done, just bring the community together and really unite everybody?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it brings the camaraderie. Like, sports just brings people together. And, I got guys who tell me all the time that I keep them off the streets. To me, that means so much to me, you know what I mean? Because of the violence that's in Cleveland and even everywhere. So, yeah, I just feel like it just brings,
Tell the couch story. Tell the couch story.
The what?
Couch.
Oh, the couch story. Okay, I will tell a couch story. So, back to my prison event. I've been there about 6 times, so I've met a lot of these guys. And just recently, I had one of the guys actually come to my house. I had a couch delivered, and he was looking at me really weird, and I was just like, why are you looking at me? And then he was like, you don't know who I am? And I'm like, no, I don't. And then he told me, he's like, you did multiple events in Grafton Prison, and I was the guy that was playing. And I literally, like, my jaw dropped. And to me, that was impactful. Like, he remembered who I was, but I didn't remember who he was, which it just shows you how much of an impact I'm having on these guys in there.
Running kind of these programs means you have a lot of responsibility. How do you kind of make sure events, no matter if it's these prison events, no matter if it's kind of the rake events, really make sure that they're truly benefiting the people you want to help with?
I'll take that. I think for me, it's going to the source, right? It's nowhere near. I didn't have to be, but for a while I was unhoused in LA trying to figure out life, and you have these moments where you still have pride, right? You still are who you are. You're a kid that went to university school, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not just doing what you think somebody needs, it's having a conversation. I always say a lot of times, it's not what you give somebody, it's how you make them feel. And so if you have a conversation, like you said, normalize, but if you humanize somebody, then that's the way you figure out what they need or what they might want. It might not be something. It might be a hug. It might be an ear. It might just be a smile. It might be a laugh. That's why I think I was born to be so silly, that I always have a stupid joke at all times, because you never know what people are going through. I guarantee you, everyone in this room, everyone watching is going through something right now. And if you lead with that, then you'll know that you'll always lead with kindness first, or just at least the ability to make somebody's day if you can.
Yeah, I mean, kind of Nick, to that point, when you go to these kind of different events and you're having these games, how do you make sure they're really just affecting the larger community and just uplifting everybody?
Wow. You know what? I just think, again, having personal relationships with everybody, making sure, I'm introducing, the player to the next player, and making sure that, hey, like, like Ricky said, like, everyone's going through something, but this is the spot where we're gonna, blow everything away, and we're just gonna have fun and just be there for each other.
Ricky, let's go kind of back to you. You start as a comedian and a TV host. How do you kind of transition from entertainment to hands-on community work? And what advice would you give students about using their own talents? And this is kind of for both of you, too. What advice would you give to students about using their own talents, whether it's basketball, whether it's kind of this comedy work, to make a difference in their own community?
I'd argue it's the same. Whether I'm serving a meal, whether I'm, on stage, it's just literally trying to make people feel better, to give people a moment of memory. It was a guy, when I was first figuring out the restaurant, there was a guy at the Cavs game. He goes, "Are you in food or beverage?" I go, "No, I'm in people," right? So like, whether I'm serving you a burger, a hot dog, et cetera, or whether I'm serving you a laugh, whether I'm writing something for TV, for me, it's just having a moment and doing that. And to go back with the influence part, knowing that whatever reasons may be, that the popularity, right? So you have all these followers. What are you gonna do with these followers? I could, tell you go eat this burger, and that's great. And sponsorship, I get paid to do a lot of stuff that sometimes I don't even want to do online. But also knowing I have the same responsibility to try to help people with these followers. So if you have 100,000 followers and you can get 100,000 people to think about somebody else or use your influence for good, why not, right? So like, I'm a lot older. I was raised like Dan and some other people in the room. When we did good, we just didn't talk about it. There was no social media outlets, right? But my thing is like, if you have, I'm about to start with MySpace, which is really about to show my age. But if you have these things on your phone, and if you can show up for bragging, hey, I'm at the Cavs game, hey, whatever, why not use the same energy to show people you're motivating and inspiring people? It might seem bragging, not whatever, but if it motivates and inspires people to be a better person, why not use your platform to do that?
I mean, Nick, we also talked about earlier in the forum, you were a really, really good basketball player, and you still are, and you play a lot. But how do you kind of bring that aspect of you playing basketball, you having fun while playing it, to these pickup games, and really just make everybody love the sport and just love the community that they're a part of?
I guess I'll just go back to being of saying like I always knew I was okay at basketball. Well, thank you for saying I'm good. I know you did your research. I will say I was okay, but just going back to just knowing that I know I wasn't going to make it to the NBA, right? But I always wanted to make an impact through basketball, and for some reason, again, I found the way to make an impact through men's, and yeah.
Also, Nick, one of the things that the P League has recently gotten is a lot of media coverage, whether it's ESPN, Sports Center, Ball is Life, right? How do you kind of use that publicity to help your cause without getting sidetracked from the larger goal in mind?
Yeah, I mean, just continue to use those outlets to, tell the story behind, making the impact for these guys. I mean, going on SportsCenter is great. Going on ESPN is great. I can't always take the credit for myself. I had so many people to help me on that, even the players, right? So it's never about me. So if any of those things happen, it's because it was a camaraderie thing and it was a togetherness thing. So I can't take all the credit for all that.
This next question is for both of you, and obviously we were talking about this in the back, and it's something a lot of people experience. You both are juggling a lot of different projects and a lot of different public attention. So how do you kind of stay grounded and also still avoid burnout, which a lot of people just go through, whether or not it's leading these big all-star celebrity games or running a new restaurant or just being a student?
I think for me, it's having balance. My mom and dad are here, my wife as well. This was not planned. I talk to my mom and dad probably 3 to 4 times a day, my wife as well. So for me, it's like when I have a 6-year-old daughter who doesn't care if I had a good day, bad day, indifferent day, doesn't care if I'm starting a new restaurant. She's like, we're making lemonade. Like, oh, okay. She calls them Miles Garrett when she meets these people. So it's having those pockets. I play a lot of like chess online, or I play spades. It's like just things that you find are outlets to take you away from where your mind would go. I know we were talking backstage with Nick and yourself. My brain doesn't shut off, so you don't almost have to make it shut off. You have to make side things that would, whatever. To be honest with you, I learned how to DJ during quarantine. I went viral because I DJ at retirement homes. The cooking thing came about because I opened up a food truck it's a donation-only food truck. So even the side ventures are also ventures. So I know you asked about staying focused. I like to, it's gonna sound crazy, be unfocused, because to me, we're all vessels and we're only used by the higher being to do what they want us to do. So for me, it's like if it's cooking and if the cooking is still used for good to help people, then so be it. If the stand-up is used to make people laugh and get whatever, so be it. So I just like to say I'm here for a brief point of time, but if I can literally use who I am and what I do to help others, then I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
That's a great answer. I mean, Nick, also at the same time, you just have so many events. We were talking backstage, you're going kind of on tour at these events. You have so many different projects kind of juggling in your mind right now. How do you kind of avoid burnout while all of this stuff is getting packed on top of you?
Definitely, I want to say that, my wife helps me with that. She helps me stay sane. My dogs help me stay sane. But it's just the love of the game. Just knowing that this is the plan A. I don't have a plan B. This is the plan A, and I want to continue to make this plan A work. So that's pretty much.
In this forum, we talk a lot about using platforms for good. How do you kind of handle criticism or negative feedback about either of your projects? And how do you kind of, at the same time, use praise to improve and stay accountable to your mission?
Yeah, I don't look at either. I don't look at the highs or the lows. I stay in the middle. My wife, and I hate to keep leaning on her, my wife would get in and be like, "Did you see this comment they wrote in the Yelp?" I'm like, "No, it's fine. Like, it is what it is. It's human nature to want to address the negativity. I think it's natural to want to take things personal. I learned at a very early age, I'm lying, I just learned probably in the last 10 years, never take anything personal. Even when it feels personal, you can't take it personal. That you don't know what that person on the other side of the phone is going through. You don't know whose grandma's couch they're living on. You don't even know what they're going through. So for me, it's like they don't know me, they never met me, and if they did, they would have different opinion or they would say whatever to my face. But no, it's hard. Social media is hard. Like at any given moment, I could look right now and somebody's probably saying something negative, right? And we are in a space where we have to use it. That's literally our 9 to 5. We have to see who's following us, who's not following us, why that. And then even more so, I was saying I was raised to not care what people think about me, but in our world, you have to care, right? That's who donates, that's who comes to the games, that's who buys, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a weird line to go back and forth on, but finding that sweet spot, like we said, the question before was, family or people you can lean on that understands it, like, hey, like we love you regardless. Yeah.
I mean, Nick, at the same time, obviously these basketball games have had a lot of praise kind of given towards them, but at the same time, just naturally, there is criticisms with everything that everybody does, right? How do you kind of handle both sides of that, especially when it's something that's just so focused on doing good in our community?
Well, they say if you're not doing anything good, then you don't have no haters, right? So at the end of the day, I don't really look at who's praising me or who's not praising me. To be honest with you, I just found out that I'm doing something good by being invited over here. So I still try to stay sane about what I'm doing. And like I said, people will say whatever about you to get you out your groove. But I just like to continue to do my mission and stay on task.
Can I make a footnote? And even to Nick, I think the best way to compliment the world is if someone says they're inspired or motivated by you. I think that's the best compliment you can get. Like, to me, we'll be dead and gone and whatever, but you never know who you're motivating and inspire, right? So I say it all the time, like, I bet you President Obama doesn't even, the person that inspired President Obama to run for president might not even know who that person was, right? So, like, to me, you put it out in the world and hopefully, it might even be a basketball game in a prison, but you've inspired me to even do stuff with Rake for prison ministry, and that's not even basketball. So those are the things, that you live for, you do it for, I guess, if you will.
Before we wrap up, what is your guys' why? In other words, what is the core kind of motivation that keeps you showing up on the hard days, right, and always striving to make such a positive impact across the city?
I want to be the person that I need when I'm down. Yeah, I want to be the person that puts a smile on somebody's face and makes them feel better, to let them know they're loved, they're cared for, that they too have a purpose. Like I said, we're all going through something, and to be able to be the person who can shine some light and be a positive influence and motivating force in this community is my why.
And Nick, what is your why, especially when you're doing so much good inside the city? What keeps you motivated to just keep on improving and keep on doing more and more?
Well, my why, again, is, what I said in the beginning, is you don't need to be a professional athlete. You don't need to have so many accolades to do what you want to do. You want to continue to believe in yourself. So I want to show that if you believe in yourself, and you don't look at these other things, that anything is possible.
Lastly, as always, what's one piece of advice that you could give to all the students here in the room today just about life in general? What would you guys say?
Ooh, about life? Life is hard. Life is very unforgiving. There's no dress rehearsal. We're all living it, but every day matters. And you don't have to wait for XYZ to happen. You can do it now. You like my teacher said, you have the power of influence. You can use it for good, but you can make a difference now. You don't have to wait. Like I said, on your cell phone, et cetera, you're gonna have bad days, right? People are gonna pass away that you're close to. You're gonna have situations that people are gonna leave you and people are gonna let you down. But I think once you realize that you're in the now, like we don't get any more days. Like this moment won't happen ever again. So why not seize the day and take advantage of it and get it done?
Well, thank you so much. And thank you so much to our amazing panelists. And we're going to move over to the mid-forum remarks now.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Douglas Taylor, and I am a senior at Brush High School, and I am the vice president of the City Club Youth Forum Council. Today, we've been enjoying a youth forum entitled Beyond the Spotlight, Voices of Influence Inspiring Change, featuring Nick Postolowski, the owner of the P League, and Ricky Smith, founder of a Random Acts of Kindness Everywhere, or RAKE, and owner of Something Good Social Kitchen. Moderating today's conversation has been Youth Forum Council member and University School junior Charlie Martin, and this discussion has explored how influence can create a real impact, the responsibility that comes with a public platform, and how young people can learn from these examples to shape the next chapter of Cleveland's story. We're now moving into one of my favorite parts of the forum, the audience Q&A. So I hope y'all have been listening, taking notes, because we're going to quiz you. No, I'm just kidding. This is your opportunity to join to the conversation by asking a question about something you'd like to learn more about from today's speakers. If you'd like to ask a question, please raise your hand, and one of our Youth Forum Council members will let you know when it's your turn to approach the microphone. Please remain seated until you're selected so we don't form a line at the microphone. Questions should be brief, focused, and end in a question mark. If you're joining us via webcast, you can text your question to 330-541-5794, and we'll include as many as time allows. At today's microphones, two of our Youth Council members, Thomas and Ruby, will be helping you guys. So can we have our first question, please?
Hi, I'm a sophomore at Cleveland Heights High School, and I had a question for the both of you. I was wondering, other than family, what do you think was your greatest motivator when you were growing up, and how did that inspire you?
Mom and dad are in the front row.
Other than family.
Other than family, my mom and dad still. Other than like person, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I don't know, because I'm so close to just my family. Oh, yes, I know this answer. My baseball team. It was funny because there was a bunch of guys who in third grade got on the baseball team. And I didn't know this until maybe the last 5 years ago that we're still really, really close friends. There's actually a picture that went viral last week. We all ended up at the restaurant together. We motivated, inspired each other. We competed with each other. We always wanted to be the best at everything. We challenged each other, and we've done it since third grade up until whatever age I am now. Don't tell anybody. But yeah, it's just what is it? Whatever sharpens whatever, the phrase?
Yes.
Sure, yeah. So my third grade baseball team.
I would say mine was, the WWE. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, well, just because of, I seen the business part and I also seen the entertainment part. So that kind of, motivated me. I know you guys are a little bit too young for the WWE.
WWF.
WWF.
Yeah.
Actually, sorry, WWF.
Okay.
Right, WWF. And I just liked the entertainment part and always wanted to be that person to, lead the way with that.
Hi, I'm Serenity from Garfield Heights High School, and I'm a senior. And I just wanted to know, being around so many people and being around so many energies, like, what boundaries do you set for yourself, like, so that you don't take on others' issues or problems?
Oh, I don't know. When I first started in this space with social media and all this stuff and influence, I didn't do a great job at all. almost to the point of like mental breakdown, depression, uh, about 10 years ago. Because in my world, you have volunteers, you have people who want to help. And sometimes those people, without knowing it, are leaner ons or energy. I think just tackling it, I think my wife is probably one of my best inspirations and motivations to know that, like, I want to come home and I just stay at home. Like, she also knows, the world doesn't really know, but I'm a true introvert, right? But the world sees me as an extrovert. But my wife knows I'll go home and not talk for like 2-3 days, or I'll just, I'm not being myself sometimes when I'm out because I have to be this person. So just having those moments and people that know you well enough to know that, like, I can enjoy your company without talking, or I like to be silly, I like to do this. So I think those are, but to answer your question, it's hard. Darn near impossible, because you have to be around people, right? And people sometimes have good days. I joke a lot that I don't even know if negative people know they're negative, right? Because they're only themselves. But if you can, you have your crew, you have your group, and if it's just yourself, it's things that I like to do that might be weird to others, but it helps replenish me and gets me refocused and refreshed.
I would say my answer to that is I'm still learning. I'm still learning every single day on how to manage my emotions, how to manage other people. And like I said, I emphasize education is important. Growing up, I didn't think it was important. I just thought it was sports. So trying to be educated on learning yourself and learning others.
Okay. Hello, my name is Dakota Sanders from Heights High School, and I am a sophomore. And I think some steps on one should take to make an impact would be art, because art shows a story and emotion, and it could make no and emotion it could make as a impact, like with Jacob Lawrence and his art. And the question I have for you is, what is your suggestion of how to use art as a vessel so that students are heard, and count?
Yeah,
It's okay.
that's a great question.
Is that-
Great question.
question.
It's funny because I love art. I wish I was an artist. Me and my family, we color every night, like these crazy books. I think art as well as sports are outlets, right? And I think it was actually ironically you asked that from being from Cleveland Heights. Years ago, I spoke at Cleveland Heights, and we had to do this whole initiative about kindness. And one of the kids goes, "Man, I'm in third grade. What do I know about kindness? What could I do to impact?" And I go, "Well, to me, your purpose is when you find out what you're good at and use what you're good at to help others. So whether it's painting, paintings that you're doing for others at retirement homes, or whether it's using art in a space that might not get art, like Nick bringing basketball to prisons. I think art is something that is sometimes forgotten with sports, but I think you can take art in your own way. I'm sure Cleveland Heights is a community center, right? You can find out how to, work with the people in community centers. I know there's so many retirement homes. Like, there's so many avenues and needs what you guys can provide or what you guys have, especially at this stage of your life. You guys aren't jaded yet, right? You guys have this ability to be able to bring smiles and joy in a way that just your youth alone, being around people. My mom has a phrase that I say, and I'm on the other side of it. She says, in order to be youthful, you have to be around youthful people. And that could be you guys just by nature. So you guys just showing up to a retirement home, showing up at places is enough as it is, and then adding the art aspect, adding the other aspects that you guys are good at, I think even takes it over the top.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nick.
No. That was honestly, you did a great job. I just wanted to tell that young lady you did a great job out there. You speaking. So again, I'm as nervous as you are. So just so you know, you did a great job. So it's okay to mess up. I mess up all the time. So just know that I think artists are one of the most creative people on this earth. So if you're an artist, yourself, keep going and tell your story through your art, because I can only draw a stick figure.
Hello. My name's Tayshawn.
What up, Tayshawn?
Ooh, I'm sorry.
Good, man. It's all right, man. I'm nervous too. It's all right.
I'm a freshman from Cleveland.
Everybody give him a round of applause on this go. Come on. Get it
I'm
on.
from Davis Aerospace and Maritime, and my question was, what was the best thing that changed your life around? What's the best thing that happened?
Oh, the best thing that's changed my life, probably realizing that I was enough to do what I needed to do, to become who I needed to become. A lot of times we put these like, I can't wait till I do this, or I can't wait till this happens. And realizing, like I said before, that like, I guarantee you guys, if you put your mind to it for a whole year, like I said, being a kicker, which you said I couldn't, but I knew I could. If you put your mind to something and you dedicate it with all your heart and passion, you can literally get anything accomplished. Look, speaking from an older person, I know that to be true. I give you guys an example. If you guys all tomorrow, which I wouldn't say you do, took a year and just did Instagram or TikTok about best bubble gum in the world, and all you did was just test bubble gums for a whole year, I guarantee you would go viral and get a deal with a bubblegum company in a year. I promise you. But sometimes we get distracted, or we might not see we only get 13 followers and nobody like this, but if you stay committed and stay with passion, I promise you everything will work out.
Yeah.
My name is Jamie L. Rollins from Collinwood High School, and I specifically had a question for Nick. And I wanted to ask you, when you decided to take on the athletic field, did you ever question any other talents that you may have had? And if you did you ever question that you may have possibly been able to do those? And what helped you with your final decision?
Oh, well, good question. Yeah, I mean, again, the education part, going to get educated, is something where I lacked. I always thought I wasn't as smart as the next person. So I used my athletic ability to prove that I'm just as good as anybody else. So yeah, I just think going the athletic way was always my route. But if I can go back, I would go the education part, learning and understanding that, and then I would go the athletic route. So I answered it as best as possible. That was a good question.
That was a great question.
My name is James Mason. I go to university school. I'm also a
US?
junior.
Let's go.
So
By the way, I'm a university school kid, guys, if you didn't know, so I'm excited about these university school kids.
So you guys being in big positions of influence and power, you guys have a lot of responsibility in the way that you influence what other people do. So how important is the idea of responsibility to you, and what ideas about it would you emphasize to other people in positions of power?
Yeah, I think you know better than anybody. There's a motto at our school, university school, is loyalty, responsibility, and consideration. And to be honest with you, and again, not to talk politics, I think, not even politics, just on social media now, and in particular with AI, I think people don't hold themselves accountable or responsible, right? You can put out anything, you can make up. I always joke when you see a story, and I have to triple check it, because it's like, who just put out this random story that has no basis, right? So I try to have integrity with myself. I try to have integrity with my friends and followers. I try to have integrity with my parents. I try to do the right thing. My dad has a quote. He goes, "We do enough wrong by mistake to do wrong on purpose." And I try to lead with that, right? And you just don't want to be wrong. You just don't want to be in a position where, and it gets, I'll be honest with you, you probably can speak to this, like, there's a lot of people probably doing a lot more money, doing a lot greater things, doing it the wrong way, quote unquote. But you just try to just know that you're trying to be the person that, trying to make yourself proud, your city proud, your family proud, and you try to just stay with that type of morale and high, whatever. We fail, I'm human. When I first started Rake, my motto, or the thing I used to say is, I'm not perfect. Well, here's this guy doing kindness, he's like a Mother Teresa. Like, nah, I was in a bar last night to 4 a.m. Nah, I was da-da-da-da, et cetera, et cetera. So you try to stay true to yourself, but even then, you still will get, pushed to areas that maybe not, but you just try to have your own moral compass to be your guide, because I'll be real, like, not to bring you back in this, like, there's a banner at me as soon as you go into university school, and I wouldn't have been the kid when I was at US, US would have never put a banner at me on the stage, but it's like, if you do things with integrity and whatever, the lessons I learned at US helped me get through all the things through life to still be the person I was then. Mind you, wasn't as guided, and was a little wayward, but it still was who I was as a person.
That was great. Inspired me.
Okay.
Great.
You just gonna ditto that?
No.
Okay.
I was just gonna add a little bit to that. Is you can have all the money in the world, and if you don't have a plan, then there's no reason to have all that money. So if you have the plan, the money will come. You know what I mean? So that's how I think
too, to staying true to your why. Like, why are you doing it? We have a running joke that people that know me, I'm not motivated by money. And it's okay to be. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm motivated by fun. I know it sounds stupid. My license plate literally says F-U-N, fun. The only one in Ohio. If you see a Jeep, I apologize if I cut you off in traffic. It's my Jeep. But if it's not fun, I don't want to do it. And I think just staying to what your why is and who you are, if you stay to that, then I think you'll be okay.
Hello, my name is Amir Odin from Cleveland Heights High School. I'm a junior and also a member of the Youth Forum Council. I was wondering how you manage the lows of your career while also reminding yourself of your whys and what you're doing.
Not well. I sleep like 3 to 4 hours a night. For me, like I said, for me, it's all in the same. It's all in the same energy. It's all in the same, whether I'm cooking or whether I'm, telling jokes. It's staying true to who I am and just making my mom and dad and my family and everybody around me proud that I could hold my head up and be the person that hopefully they raised me to be or wanted me to be.
Yeah, I want to make my family proud as well. I come from Macedonia. It's in, it's in Europe. It's above Greece. So
wait, like Macedonia, like the
no,
country?
not Ohio.
Oh, I was like, we're in Aurora. I was like, we right there. Okay.
So I'm a first generational guy, and just want to, do great things here in this beautiful country.
Hi, my name is Zanaya Peterson. I'm a junior that attends MC2 STEM, and my question is, what event in your life impacted you to the point where you realized more kindness is needed in the world?
I didn't hear the last part.
Would you kind of believe there was more kindness needed? Like, was there a certain event that really kind of showed you that there was more kindness?
I don't think it's, so mine comes from a backwards place. I didn't wake up one day and was like, oh, the world needs more kindness. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I was just, let my mom tell it. I was a kid that gave my fruit snacks away to everybody on the playground anyway. So it's kind of already who I was. It was just leaning into it and finding a lane. When I first started Rake, I didn't see people who were just average Joe people just spreading kindness on social media, right? It's a lot of people doing now. This is way back. This is like when Twitter first, actually, wow, I'm showing my age. I actually remember when Twitter first started. My first tweet was like, can't believe I'm telling people what I'm doing all day. But I'd never
2009, right?
Sure. But I'd never seen people just spreading kindness, just being just who I am. Like he said, I was an athlete, I wasn't rich. Truth be told, I was living in my car, which no one knew. Like had nothing. But it was a tweet that said, when you have nothing, give more. And I said again, when you have nothing, give more. And I thought it was the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. But what it meant was that you still have something within you to give to others. I still have the ability to make people laugh. I still have make people smile. I still could have a compliment. I still do whatever. And I said as a joke, screw it, I'll just do it. And I had $20 left in my name, and I bought 4 Little Caesars pizzas for homeless people, and with their permission, told their story online, and it went viral. And the next day, Cartoon Network had a TV writing gig for me. And I was like, I guess I gotta keep doing this. So that quote, as dumb as it sounds, it changed my life.
You know what? I was so into your story, I forgot what the question was.
Yeah, so like, was there a specific event where you realized that kindness was just needed? That like, it kind of started that idea of kindness being a part of your goal?
Yeah, I mean, again, the prison event, people really look at prisoners as bad people, and they're not. They just messed up, and they, needed another chance for someone to come in there and remind them that you're not a bad person. And, and again, sports brings the camaraderie part, so, yeah.
This is a texted-in question, but Ricky, back in 2020, you organized a Black Lives Matter mural on East 93rd Street. What impact did that have, and what did you learn from the success that you found?
I don't know if it's success, per se. I had seen these beautiful murals all over the country at the time, and I thought how cool it would be if we did one here. And at the time, Frank Jackson, his staff had reached out and go, hey, Rick, just so you know, we'll arrest you if you don't do it the right way. And I was like, okay, sorry. We actually did it on 93rd for a reason. At the time, there was, don't quote me on the number, there was 10 to 20 missing African-American women in that neighborhood. So even just being thoughtful of having the street mural done there to then have that story when I talked about the street mural was impactful. To the young lady in Cleveland Heights, so she's saying about art. I think art is the best way to express yourself, right? And so we were able to do some really cool things that was still with the bigger message of Black Lives Matter, right? That during a time where there was was during COVID, and we're wearing these masks, and we're having these shutdowns, and they're telling us one thing, and the internet's telling us another thing, and we're seeing people being murdered, and people are divisive, and this and that. It's like, why not come together, do something so beautiful in a city that I love, in an area that needed a spotlight shown on. So, yeah, I went the other day. It's washed off, which I'm sad about. It just looks like this random letters. And I did find out that, and to your point about success, I found out 2 people in that neighborhood that had to drive 20 minutes around because they couldn't go down the street. So I don't know if they would call it success, but I bought them a meal afterwards, so I think we're okay now.
All right, my name is Zach. I'm also from Davis Maritime and Aviation High School. And I was wondering if you could speak a little bit about what being from Cleveland really means social media-wise, right? You have it on your hat, Nick. I have the same t-shirt, same hat, you know. Feeling Cleveland. Okay, you got, sorry, it was backwards, Rick, my apologies. But can you speak to what being from Cleveland, because I think we're a really unique group of people here, and what that kind of does to influence your message?
Yeah, I mean, they always say you can't make it out of Cleveland. Which I think is bullcrap. You know, I think.
They say that?
Yeah.
For real?
At least the people I'm around.
Okay, I never heard that. Okay.
But yeah, they say Cleveland's hard to do things. Cleveland don't support people. But I've got great support from Cleveland, and I love the city so much. Like I said, I rep this hat. I play basketball in it. I go do meetings in it, and I do everything. But obviously not this one because I don't want to be sweaty. But yeah, and like I said, I love the city so much, and I just think it's the best city in the country.
Oh, I rep it hard. Yeah. Even just a little known fact of Easter eggs in every TV show I've ever written, there actually is a Cleveland line in everything. I wear Cleveland everything. I am Cleveland, and I beg to differ people that you're around, and that your world is your world, so whatever. Like we said about support, I think we're very supportive. I think sometimes when people will say like, "Oh, Cleveland doesn't support," well, maybe you should do something that we want to support more.
Right.
Maybe you should do something that dials in, that gets the support. I actually like that energy of, I was telling some employees of mine that I come from a place, whenever I do an event or do anything, I assume nobody wants to come. And I live in that space. Like, how can I make you want to be a part of what I'm doing? There's a lot of things going on. You know, it's cold outside. You got to pay for gas, et cetera, et cetera. I don't want to get up today. How can I make you want to do what I want to do? And I think that's the Cleveland in us. Like, we're prideful, we're loyal. I think because of our team sometimes don't live up to expectations that we give them, but I think it's like that big brother syndrome. Like, me and you can argue all day, but the moment somebody else talks bad about us, it's like, no, leave my brother alone. So I think Cleveland made us exactly who we are, and it made us strong, and yeah, I rep it hard.
Love it. Love the city.
Hi, I'm David Rodriguez, a sophomore at Cleveland Heights High School. My question is, how can student voice truly be heard and influence change when the thing you're trying to change won't change because of people disagreeing with the thing you want to change?
So when I first started my nonprofit, we did an event and 7 people showed up. And this is kind of answer you, but not answer you. And I was like, dang, 7 people showed up versus 8 billion people who didn't show up. My dad goes, does 7 people have a good time? I go, yeah. He goes, that 7 would be 14. That 14 would be 28. Never worry about the people who don't rock with you. Rock with the people who do rock with you. That's all you need. You need a selective few to really, 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 really want your back and have your consideration. Don't worry about the other people. I have a phrase I say all the time. People say, oh, I'm trying to prove my haters wrong. I think that's the dumbest phrase in the history of the world. Because your haters are just your haters. Like, that's their job. They're haters. They're going to hate something else. So even if you do what they say you couldn't do, they're still going to hate you. I'd rather prove the people who love to me right. I say it again. I'd rather prove to the people who love me right than care about my haters. Because that's their name. Like, nobody wakes up like, yo, I used to be a hater. I'm recovering. I'm now a lover. No, you're a hater. That's their goal. So don't focus on who doesn't, whatever. Get that strong force and you rock with it. That's all you need to make change happen. Martin Luther King didn't wake up one day and was like, you know what? I think I have a dream. No, he's like, I'm going to do something so impactful. He didn't walk down the street. He was like, maybe people walk with me. He was like, no, I got this. And anyway, sorry, I'll start preaching.
Yeah, no, that's good, man. Yeah, I would say just appreciate the people that do believe in you and like want to, go down, that road with you. And that's what I always did, and I never cared about who didn't like what I did. I just cared about the people that wanted to come support and wanted to do what I want to do, because at the end of the day, you'll mesh better with those people than proving someone else wrong, and then now they're like, once a hater, always a hater, they say, right?
It's like, too, you guys are at a younger age, but it's like when you like a new car and you notice a new car, you'll see that car everywhere, right? So when you put your place in positions and places, you'll start seeing other people like yourself, right? And you'll start seeing people who have the same ideologies and thoughts like you. And to me, that's when change happens. You can beat your head all day into a wall, and those people aren't going to change. So you're going to get, disenfranchised. You're going to be distraught, whatever. But go where that is, and those people might have different views and thoughts that can get you where you want to go and help even more so the cause.
Good question.
Thank you all for joining us today at the City Club of Cleveland for our youth forum, Beyond the Spotlight, Voices of Influence Inspiring Change. My name is Manasvi Gurjala, a junior at Solon High School and the Vice President of Outreach and Engagement here at the Youth Forum Council. A huge thank you to our panelists, Nick Postolowski, owner of the P-League, and Ricky Smith, founder of Random Acts of Kindness Everywhere and Something Good Social Kitchen, for sharing your stories and insights with us today. Your work truly shows us how influence, purpose, and action can come together to make a real impact within our communities. We'd also like to recognize the school groups represented in the room today, including Andrews Osborne Academy, Cleveland Heights University Heights High School, Collinwood High School, Cleveland Cavaliers Social Impact Academy, Davis Aerospace, Garfield Heights High School, and MC Squared STEM High School, as well as several individual students representing their own schools and districts. We extend our sincere gratitude to our student forum and our participation sponsors, the Cleveland Cavaliers, Nordson, the George W. Codrington Charitable Foundation, AT&T, the Martha Holden Jennings Foundation, and the Doris C. Michalski Trust for their continued support of youth programming and civic dialogue here at the City Club. Before we adjourn, we want to highlight the Hope and Stanley Adelstein Free Speech Essay Contest. This year's prompt invites students to explore the role of social media in shaping public conversation and responsibility. It reads, "Social media has transformed how young people engage in dialogue, build community, and advocate for the issues that matter to them most. Yet, as online expression expands, so do questions about free speech, responsibility, and the role of institutions in shaping that discourse. In a democratic society that values open dialogue, how should schools, communities, and digital platforms balance the right for free expression with accountability? And what responsibilities come with having a public voice in the digital age?" Essay submissions open on December 1st, and all Northeast Ohio high school students are encouraged to apply, and there are monetary incentives for winners. Today marks our final youth forum of the fall semester, but we'll be back here January 21st to kick off the spring semester, and we hope to see many of you there. For more information about the essay contest mentioned today, reserving space for school groups to attend City Club forums, or learning more about ways for students to engage with the City Club, please visit cityclub.org or email Ariana Smith at cityclub.org. To all the students, educators, and guests who joined us today, thank you for being part of this conversation. This forum is now adjourned.
For information on upcoming speakers or for podcasts of the City Club, go to cityclub.org.
The ideas expressed in City Club forums are those of the speakers and not of the City Club of Cleveland, IdeaStream Public Media, or their sponsors. Production and distribution of City Club forums on IdeaStream Public Media are made possible by PNC and the United Black Fund of Greater Cleveland, Incorporated.